Was this rust or was this something more tonight for Johan?
Well, Kev, I'd say it was rust. I mean, that's probably the best fastball I've seen him have since early in the season. Just balls in the middle of the plate. And as I told him when they took him out, no disrespect to the Braves, they got a very, very good club, but when they hit it where nobody was standing. He didn't have a ball hit at anybody. It was just a night where it was tough for him because he was throwing strikes and using his pitches. He just wasn't throwing them where he wanted to. He said his command was off, and so we'll move forward. But at least he feels good. He feels like he's okay, and that's good. It's a bright side, if there is one.
You feel that way mainly because of the velocity he had on the fastball?
Yeah, nice loose arm. I watched his long toss before the game. Much more carry on the ball than he's had lately. Some bright things that happened. He just didn't, once he got in there, didn't make any pitches.
Do you think you need another start or two, Terry, in order to compare it to? Or
Yeah.
do you feel comfortable?
We need to get him run out there where he starts to get in the same groove, where he's used to pitching, and now he's going to have a bullpen a couple of days, go back out, do his session, and see how he does, next couple of times out, so he gets in a little bit better routine.
It might be premature to say this right now, Terry, but would there come a point where you had to look at his starts and see where it might make sense to stop him and looking ahead to next year?
Dave, really I'm not sure. That's a great point. I'm not. He'll have some input in that, but obviously his health's the most important thing. Getting through the season, I think, is pretty important. Do we go to a sixth guy so he and Chris have some extra days? That's all going to be talked about.
Before the injury, I think his last 3 starts, and then this one before the one, he's on 6 runs or more. Is there a thread that runs through those, or do you say those 3 were before the injury?
Well, Dan and I are going to. We talked a little bit on the bench about a couple things that, we want to see him do a little different, and we'll talk to him about those things. So, but once again, this guy, when he was winning Cy Youngs, it was because he had plus stuff with great command. Obviously, even though he doesn't throw 95 anymore, command's still going to be what got him through. You look at the games where he's pitched well, lots of swings and misses, lots of called strikes. And right now, they're not swinging and missing it. So there's got to be a reason, and there's a couple things we're going to talk about.
Obviously, he's had some good games this year, but how much of this is him, next stage trying to adapt to, being that pitcher maybe without the plus stuff all the time? It's a little different for him.
Yeah, it is, Kevin, but I think he's adapted to it. Again, as we look back in April and May and June, early June, his stuff wasn't even, as crisp as it was today. It was just down in the zone, got ahead in the count. Today he was behind in some counts, although they did jump on some first pitch fastballs. So all that stuff is, the other team's adjusting to him a little bit too. Like I said before, one thing that I always thought that was impressive about him was that you had to adjust to him. Well, maybe they are. So maybe we need to take a look at another approach. So.
Just one on offense. Is there any concern, Terry, there's been a lot of strikeouts the last couple of weeks for your team?
There's a concern. Make no mistake about it. You wouldn't have concern if we were hitting balls out of the ballpark. Guys with power strike out. But at the same time, they hit some homers. We've got a lot of guys striking out who shouldn't be strikeout guys. And that's been a concern. I've discussed it with Dave, so we're going to hopefully get that fixed.